Welcome, everyone. I think we just saw some of what Rutgers is all about, some great jazz music. So good evening and welcome to the 2021 Rutgers University Foundation Board of Directors Stakeholder Celebration of Impact. My name is Phil Scalo, and I'm pleased that you decided to spend the evening with us here. It's important that we all come together as members of the Rutgers community. Someday soon, we'll be able to do it all in person. And in person, we would be able to interact with each other, to share in applause and laughter, contrasted starkly by this current virtual environment where you can see me, but I can't see or interact with any of you. There is a silver lining, though, and is that many members of our community can participate in the life of our university, and that they can do so from wherever they are. And I know some of you are coming in from far away. I was told that we have over 100 people in climbing that are here tonight, and it's great that we can have so many people doing that to commemorate what a unique and remarkable year this has been. It's important that we celebrate our successes. We also honor the challenges, sacrifices, and hardships many have experienced. The past year has brought loss and great opportunities. At the same time, at Rutgers, it is our responsibility to look ahead and prepare for the future. Tonight, we do that as proud members of the Rutgers community. To paraphrase an apt saying, adversity brings out greatness in good people. As chair of this foundation board of directors, I'm proud to say that we have helped bring out the great in a good organization. As a lot of you know, Rutgers has responded to tremendous adversity with innovation and determination, whether that has meant directly fighting the spread of COVID-19 virus or assuring that our university remains open, safe, and vital. And philanthropy has made an outsized impact on the lives of our students, faculty, staff, and the researchers in this difficult environment. I hope you share the same sense of pride I am feeling about our commitment to the university and to this foundation. Most of all, I hope you all feel a tremendous sense of possibility that I feel as we move forward. It is a feeling that when we stay engaged with Rutgers and do everything in our power to build its resources, we are making a difference in the world in a clear and tangible way. The stories you will see tonight are examples of how transformational and high-impact philanthropy can change lives. Of course, there have been many examples of this in this past year and in the past, more than we can illustrate here. However, some of them promise new direction in medical research, such as an anonymous $25 million gift to the Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey, which provides groundbreaking support for the cancer immunology and metabolism center of excellence. I blew that one. The game-changing gift will empower research and human immunoresponse to cancer and ultimately develop the foundation for new treatments or make existing therapies more effective. Another transformational example is the Herbert Klein's $5 million gift to support the Alzheimer's and dementia research. Herb established a new endowed chair, as well as the Herbert and Jacqueline Krieger Klein Alzheimer's and Dementia Clinical Research and Treatment Center. Also noteworthy is another $4 million donation from the David T. Bender Trust, which will create vital scholarships for student athletes who compete in Olympic sports and provide investment learning opportunities for students at the Rutgers School of Business in Newark and in New Brunswick. Many other gifts have changed lives in other ways, such as the thousands of contributions of all sizes from every corner of our community to support the Scarlet Promise Grants Focus campaign. These gifts are about as much about dollars as they are about moving steps forward as milestones on the journey that Rutgers is leading toward the brighter future. And now, to celebrate another step in this journey, a gift from our business leader, James Tucci. And there'll be a video that comes on. You'll see this video. It's pretty exciting, and see some of the things we're doing there.
The one thing about healthcare is everybody's going to get sick one way or another. So the more capability you have to treat that, the much better off we're going to be. In 1994, my wife had an AVM. Operation was done at Robert Wood Johnson. That was a highly risky procedure, but she came out of it very well. Then in October, I had a quadruple bypass. All the physicians at the hospital were just stellar.
Mr. Tucci he's a kind, he's a soft-spoken person who's very, very bright, who asks really good questions, who understood how to make a donation that would be highly impactful.
Mr. Tucci wants to see that his gift becomes an investment for the future. He wants to see that this translates into practical outcome, into innovations, into patents, into things that will ultimately translate into benefits for the people, not only in New Jersey and in the United States, but people around the world.
I was having different discussions with Dr. Lacey, Dr. Carson, and started talking about what they were working on. Dr. Carson and his just exemplary record of what he's been doing with blood research. Dr. Lacey has about 6 different projects that we're funding out of another portion of the $8 million.
With Mr. Tucci's donation, we will develop a training program for faculty to develop skills related to clinical trials. Clinical trials are the most impactful form of clinical research. Mr. Tucci's support will make all the difference in the world in our ability to train and expand our clinical trials program.
Jim Tucci's gift allows us now to pursue a number of initiatives that have to do with emergency preparedness, disaster response, and also cardiovascular diseases. These projects are very varied in their focus, but each of them has a common factor, which is great impact on health and public health.
I'm here because the practitioners are within the university, within Robert Wood Johnson Hospital. They're here. So what better place could you put this?
The generous gift that Mr. Tucci has provided Rutgers will fund and seed innovation, not just today, but will have a multiplier effect that will result in innovation, discovery, and development for many, many years to come.
What a story that was. To donate so generously, based on very personal experiences with Rutgers healthcare professionals, this is a powerful testimonial to the work Rutgers does and how it affects lives. My name is Lavinia Boxall. I'm the interim president of the Rutgers University Foundation and executive vice president for development and alumni engagement. Stories like Jim's have always inspired me, and I continue to find inspiration in the Rutgers community's willingness to give of its time, its talent, and its treasure. As Phil said, there's so many examples of transformational giving from the past year, and what a year it was. Alongside great turmoil and uncertainty and fear, we were fortunate to reach new highs and achieve remarkable success in several areas. In March, we had the most successful Rutgers Giving Day ever. More than 8,400 donors contributed nearly $4 million to causes throughout the university. 8,400 donors. That's a 16% increase over our previous best year, and in the midst of a global pandemic. And this was our best giving day ever in terms of dollars, raising nearly $4 million. The $4 million our community contributed will have immense impact on hundreds of causes throughout the university, but is the donor figure I am most inspired by. Why? Because each one of those Giving Day donors was a person with their own unique needs, passions, and goals to navigate. Each one of them was moved to participate, giving of their own resources to help Rutgers better the world. Each one chose to endorse the work that Rutgers does. It is important to keep this in mind. Philanthropy at any level happens when people know that Rutgers changed lives. In January, an anonymous faculty member at Rutgers Law School in Camden donated $3.5 million to create the Raymond L. Solomon Scholars Program. Named in honor of the school's former dean, this program is designed to attract law students who have distinguished themselves academically and demonstrated a commitment to public service. In the words of Kimberly Mutcherson, co-dean of the law school, The vision set forth by our donor will allow Rutgers to continue to prepare the very best students from New Jersey, the nation, and the world to become the leaders that we need to guide the future. What Dean Mutcherson says about the future is a good reminder. We may be talking about philanthropy that happened over the last year, but we're not talking about the past. We're talking about shaping the future, and Rutgers offers endless opportunities to do that. This becomes clear to anyone who takes a few minutes to learn about Rutgers' big ideas. Over the course of 2020, Rutgers leadership and community members reviewed 40 large-scale dramatic ideas presented at a 2019 symposium. In January of this year, 12 selections were announced, officially launching the Big Ideas Initiative. For those who want to help Rutgers better the world in ways that are truly transformational, big ideas are the perfect opportunity. These large-scale initiatives span a wide range of research areas: climate change, artificial intelligence, cancer research, access to education, and social justice, just to name a few. I encourage everyone gathered here to identify a big idea that matches your interests, learn more about it, and make a lasting impact by joining us in our investment in them. Doing so will not only facilitate new research and develop new infrastructure, it will create a legacy that lasts generations. Of course, for those who want to support the good work of Rutgers in other ways, there's no limit to how we can do that. So I want to share in the next video another powerful story, this one about a donor whose experience as a student moved her to give.
The world of economics is absolutely fascinating. Economic policy and politics and geopolitics and industry and trade and how really the world works. You have a much better understanding of all of those issues that are so pertinent and so fascinating if you understand economics. I was the second class of women admitted into Rutgers. It was the autumn of 1973. I took my first class in economics, and literally, from the moment I sat down in that class, I fell in love with the subject. And I never, ever, ever looked back. My heart is with Rutgers. Because the economics department was so important to me, I thought that is where I want my bequest to have the most impact.
Any bequest is there to do something you did not otherwise think possible. What Wendy has done is align her success in life and her opportunity for philanthropy with Rutgers' future commitment to a great economics department.
The gift is very important to the department. The main part of the gift is the endowed chair. That will allow us to hire a senior faculty member. The other important part of this gift is the 2 graduate fellowships. And finally, this gift is endowing an undergraduate research agenda. This is a fantastic opportunity for our undergraduates to get experience at doing economic research.
I had Professor Ash for Micro 102. I was enthralled with this subject. He was such a good professor. He wanted me to be his research assistant. Took the final, and the next week I started as his research assistant. I have to give Dr. Ash all of the credit for recognizing my talent. That was a transformative time for me. It ultimately was, I think, my very starting point for what was to be a very rewarding part of my life.
When we celebrate the bequest, we do so throughout the life of the donor making the provision. The stewardship and the celebration continues on and hopefully allows the donor making that gift to engage with Rutgers University for their lifetime. But the most important thing about a bequest is that it follows from the donor's vision and passion for what that philanthropic impact is going to be.
I envision my bequest as enhancing the reputation of the department. I mean, that, I think, is what's most important to me, to give the economics department the opportunity to continue to be highly regarded.
Wendy dreams big. And by Wendy making this gift, she sets an example for others to follow.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jonathan Holloway, president of Rutgers University. When we talk about visionary philanthropy, this is what we mean. It is gratifying to see a successful alumna like Wendy Lee discovering her own unique path to meaningful giving, and to know that her journey to success has roots in what was, for her, a beloved community. This is another reason why the idea of the beloved community is so important. When we do the work needed to create such a community, the future leaders we nurture will give greater consideration to giving back. That is why I appreciate your commitment as leaders in the university community to the three strategic pillars I identified last fall: the achievement of a beloved community, the furthering of academic excellence, and the development of institutional clarity. I thank each of you for everything you've done to move Rutgers closer to these objectives. Now, as Phil and Lavinia have both said, there is so much to be thankful for and much to celebrate. For example, in September, Rutgers received a 5-year, $15 million grant from the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation to establish the Institute for the Study of Global Racial Justice. The Institute will be a university-wide entity spanning all chancellor-led units. I want to emphasize not only the remarkable generosity of this grant, but also that it arises from a deep and mutually respectful relationship with the Mellon Foundation. Leaders at that foundation have a long history of support for higher education and a keen awareness of Rutgers' commitment to research and policy reform, education, and social justice movements. The reverse is true as well. Because those priorities are hardwired into the vision and leadership of the Mellon Foundation, Rutgers has found an effective partner for transformative change there. Shifting gears a bit, but keeping a focus on the power of transformational initiatives, I'm thankful to Lavinia for spotlighting the Rutgers Big Ideas, since they are also avenues to positive change. In March, when Rutgers hosted a virtual discovery of the 12 Big Ideas, you could feel the excitement building among the participants. And there's a reason for this. The Rutgers philanthropic community, like the university itself, recognizes the urgency of and gravitates toward the most pressing challenges of our time. It's in our DNA. Public health issues, climate resilience, social justice, artificial intelligence, access to education, cancer treatment, and more. The opportunity to address any and all of these is there for the taking. I know that Rutgers and its supporters will continue to amplify these projects and provide them with the resources necessary to make a global impact. So I invite anyone who's not yet explored Rutgers Big Ideas, by all means, join us. Adventure awaits. Finally, if we are to explore fully transformative change and transformative giving, we must turn our attention to another university-wide initiative, the Scarlet Promise Grants. Many of you are familiar with Scarlet Promise Grants and have worked hard to support them. As you know, Scarlet Promise Grants provide essential need-based financial aid and emergency support for nearly 11,000 Rutgers undergraduates every year. Last summer, on my first day, I set a goal for our community to raise $10 million in support of Promise Grants. I'm pleased to say that we have reached our goal. Thank you. This effort is something we should be very proud of. There is no higher calling for today's colleges and universities than to make sure students with real talent and potential can pursue an education at a world-class university, regardless of their means. Doing this is a definitive marker of excellence in higher education today, full stop. If we are to continue advancing Rutgers' reputation and national leadership, maintaining this effort and others like it is essential. Our students are the writers of their own stories. Your support assures the world's ability to read them. Please enjoy the following.
I always saw Rutgers in my backyard. I got to know the finance major, and I really liked that it was competitive. It was something that it wasn't found in my family before. I know we have a couple accountants, but not finance majors. Why can't I be the person to set those kinds of paths? To be the girl from New Brunswick that happens to be a finance major and is also the first in her family, and just setting all these firsts, it was cool. I was struggling financially and I needed someone to hear me out. We got to sit down, it was private, and I said, like, listen, it's looking pretty hard for the semester and I've done a lot in terms of my loans. I have no idea where I can go from here. And she said, I think you're eligible for a Scarlet Promise grant. I was looking through my term bill and I saw the change and I was able to tell my mom, we're doing it. I was that student, I wanted to do everything at Rutgers. I wanted to live the full experience. And I felt that without the Scarlet Promise grant and without the additional help, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I wouldn't be able to get the books that I have. I wouldn't be able to get the resources that I have. My experience would be completely different. It does give you that little step you need. It's a necessary grant. It's something that targets students like me that want to do something, that want to go far. To the Scarlet Promise grant community, to anyone who has contributed to the program, I would just like to say thank you. Thank you for helping me and others like me feel seen. Thank you for giving us the platform to support not only going to college, but going into a career. I know that the future is bright. I know that nothing changes until you make change happen, and I'm part of that change. Thank you.
Thank you, President Holloway, for your inspiring words and for that opportunity to see the impact of the Scarlet Promise Grants focused campaign. And thank you all for attending the 2021 Rutgers University Foundation Board of Directors Stakeholder Celebration. I hope you share my excitement about everything we've seen and celebrated tonight. The leadership all of you have demonstrated is key to Rutgers' ability to make a difference at Rutgers and in our world. Let's look forward to another year of empowering this university to do the good work that it does. And thank you again, and have a safe and wonderful evening. Good night.